Did NASA actually find a face monument on Mars and try to cover it up? Back in July of 1976, the Viking 1 satellite took photos of the surface of Mars over an area called Cydonia. When a scientist studying the photos noticed this, a hill in the shape of a face on image 35A72. And close to it are these mountains that almost look like, dare I say it, pyramid. This discovery quickly gained public attention, so NASA released a follow-up statement saying they took a second photo that proves it's just an optical illusion and the face doesn't actually exist. But they never released that second photo. They just said they have it and we were supposed to believe them. Here's an enhanced version of that original image that looks even more questionable. When civilizations build monuments like these, they typically build them close to each other in clusters. Well, just a couple kilometers away from the face, we have these pyramid-looking ass mountains, including the infamous DNM landform, a near symmetrical 5-sided pyramid. Professional satellite imaging specialists even made highly educated measurement analyses and determined none of these landforms could have been naturally forming, claiming that the 5-sided shape and symmetry is near impossible to occur naturally. Now, just weeks later, Viking 2 was scheduled to land in Cydonia where all these interesting monuments were. But last minute, they switched the landing site to a barren, flat area called Utopia Planitia. Like, why? Some computer engineers at NASA thought something was up, so they requested this second photo that NASA claimed they had. And it turns out, this one is even more detailed than the first, so NASA straight up lied. Independent researchers started looking into this, demanding NASA take more photos of the area, eventually making it to the radio, from which NASA got hundreds of requests from the public to take more photos. NASA stuck to their guns, claiming that it was all a hoax and the mystery had been solved with their optical illusion explanation. But then in 1993, NASA launched their next mission to the Red Planet, the Mars Observer, and they weren't even going to include a camera? At least that's what they officially stated. Sketch as f***, if you ask me. Obviously, they got major backlash for that, and they caved, ending up adding a camera that was much higher resolution than before, so people were amped. But NASA strangely announced that they had no interest in taking photos of the face again, that it was just a waste of time. Which makes no sense. Couldn't they just take these photos and prove the face believers wrong? After much back and forth debate, they finally agreed to take photos of Cydonia. And then get this, 3 days before Observer reaches Mars orbit, NASA makes an announcement, claiming that they lost all contact with the satellite and it just fully disappeared. Yes, that's actually their official statement, and you can even look it up yourself. Leaks came out at the time that Observer was actually fully operational, taking close-up HD photos of the face and other ancient ruins on Mars. But of course, back then, anyone that believed in leaks was considered a nutcase, C-word theorist. We've since learned that leaks can very well be real, but they could also not. Dozens of other images have been released of Mars with sites that are questionable. We got this perfect cube-shaped monolith standing on its own, and then there's this 16-kilometer high freestanding obelisk of some sort, which is literally higher than an airplane. Take a look at this thing that vaguely looks like a shipwreck of some ancient craft. Hey look, it's a saucer-shaped disc in the cliff sides that does not match the rest of the background at all. Now I don't even know what this is, but it definitely doesn't look natural to me. This Martian totem pole, but of course we're told it was formed through erosion. Giant surface tracks way bigger than any rovers they sent there. Here's an outline of some wheel or gear, perfectly symmetrical, which could not have been naturally formed. Then, in May 2022, Curiosity rover released this photo of a literal doorway carved into the rocks of Mars. And these are all real. No Photoshop, no AI. This doorway photo is literally on NASA's official website, and you can even check yourself. Skeptics will attribute these Mars findings to a phenomenon called pareidolia, the human tendency to find meaning in arbitrary things, like seeing Jesus in toast, or a giant laying in the mountains, which could be the case. People that were watching close were quick to learn that NASA was launching the Mars Global Surveyor in 1998, and once again, NASA publicly states they're not going to take pics of Cydonia. Like, come on, say you're hiding something without telling people you're hiding something. They face crazy pushback from the public and they fold, agreeing to the photos once more. So everyone's excited. This new satellite launches, it reaches Mars orbit, and NASA finally unveils the first ever high-definition photo of the face. You're joking right now. This is actually their official photo, their attempt at shutting the face believers up once and for all. But a NASA contractor plays around with the source image in Photoshop, and after applying more than 15 different filters and layers, they essentially confirmed that the photo is fake, or at least heavily modified. The tonal variation, shadow depth, and features do not match the original photo at all. And we know NASA is no stranger to Photoshop. We've all seen the copy-paste clouds over Earth, and they've even done the same to the textures of Mars. NASA even got booked red-handed applying red filters to the photos of Mars before releasing them to the public. Before Photoshop was widely used, pre-2000s, all of NASA's Mars photos looked like this. Heavy red filtering applied, making it look like a scary alien world. But if you take any of those photos and run it through autocolor on modern-day Photoshop, which removes any post-production filters, it goes from this to this and that. And also this. Once people started figuring this out, NASA offed the red filter and all recent photos of Mars look completely normal now. Brown rocks, gray sky and all. Sounds like paradise. I don't know about you, but fake even one photo and your credibility is gone, which kinda leaves the official face photo in question. So tell me, why on Mars aren't we sending any rovers to Cydonia? Hopefully once private companies like SpaceX start getting there, they can show us what's really going on. Unless they've already covered it up.